This is part 3 of a series of videos on how to create a multi-user chat application in Java. In part 1 of the series, we started with creating a basic framework for client-server communication. And we have a chat server, and then we have these clients that we right now using Telnet to replicate that connects to the server and then send messages back and forth. In part 2, we developed the protocols for communicating different commands between the server and the client. And one of the things that we did in part 2 was to deal with the user presence. Basically, how to deal with users logging in and logging off and notifying every other connected users about the other user's presence. Okay, so let me show you what we've done in part 2. And let me run the server. And we have 2 Telnet sessions to replicate 2 different clients. Okay, so in the first client, which is the top one, I'm going to log in as a user called guest with password guest. And then on the bottom Telnet, I'm going to log in as another user, Jim, with the password Jim. And then what we've done in the part 2 was we made the server send the presence of a new user to other users. So for example, this user Jim goes online. The connection that is logged in as guest will receive a message that says Jim is online. And likewise, when Jim becomes online, we're able to publish every other user that is already currently online, which is here, online guest. So that means that when a user comes online, it will receive a notification of all the online users that are already connected. And then we also implemented the Logoff function. Okay, so here what happens is when we log off the last user, we have an exception. And this exception is because when we log off the first user, we did not remove that user from the list of server worker from the list. And then now when it tries to send the offline message to the disconnected worker, it actually fails because they're no longer connected to the server and this output stream is no longer valid. That's why we get this socket close exception. Okay, so now let's handle that case. Okay, so first, when a user logs off, we need to remove this current instance from this worker list. Okay, and the way that we do that is to first, in this handle logoff, right, we want to remove ourselves from this worker list. Okay, so that means it will no longer be on that list. So let's try that. Okay, so we avoided that exception by removing the disconnected workers from the list.